Hey everybody, it's the 1st of July, 2016. It's time for another Stash Report from the Stash Project. Well, it's Happy Canada Day for all our folks up north of the parallel there, and of course it will be the 4th of July weekend down here in the United States, which of course signifies all of my neighbors to buy large amounts of artillery and shoot them randomly towards my house. Perhaps not, but they're already starting, and they're not messing around this year with the quality and quantity of the explosives. So it should be an interesting weekend for the the hobby cats, as well as, of course, the next door neighbors have a very large and very friendly dog. I'm more of a cat person than I am a dog person, but I like dogs too. And of course, the dog will probably think the world's coming to an end since all the explosions will actually be taking place at his house. So there hasn't been a lot going on in terms of kit releases because, of course, this was the odd week that we have, at the beginning end of the month. We got a few reissues, easy for me to say, that did come out this week, and we have a plethora of new kit announcements going actually into September. So a lot to talk about on that front, and so we'll get right to it. We've got the August spot runs from Fujimi and Aoshima, as well as some September spot run announcements from Aoshima as well. So we'll start. These is going to be September, Aoshima, and what these are, in addition to being spot run, are more of their merging of existing kit series into the new kit catalog of the model car and the tuned car. So on the model car side of things, in September, they're going to be reissuing the 1998 Toyota Chaser Tour 5. That's the JZX100 chassis for people who pay attention to the sort of stuff like that. In its Aero package, which is essentially the same as any other of the JZX100 Tour 5s that you'll find. This one just has a few extra ground effect pieces. You can build it without the ground effects pieces. They're not molded into the body. If you want to just go for a straight stock Chaser Tour 5. They're going to be reissuing their Nissan Silvia S13. That's like the 1991 Silvia, and that is the kit that has the engine insert, and it will have the engine insert in it. Then a couple of cars from that Best Car Vintage line that are being merged into this, which I don't necessarily agree with because I think it's going to surprise a few people who will assume that these are brand new kits, if nothing else, because of the new packaging. But they're going to be taking their KPCG, or I should say the KPGC 110 Skyline GTR. That's the 73. That's the one that was, of course, very, very limited production. They only ran so many of those 1973 GTRs off before the car was killed off entirely because of fuel mileage and all that. The Skyline, of course, would continue, but the GTR would go away until the R32 came back around. And they're also going to be reissuing the Nissan Laurel 2000 SGX. That's a 1975 Nissan Laurel. And both of these kits, again, are Best Car Vintage. All of the old Skylines are Best Car Vintage, even though they were in a series called the Skyline. And they're all motorized chassis, generic motorized chassis and stuff like that. So for the Laurel, there's not really a better option out there. There is no other old Laurel kit. I think Fujimi might also have one, but it's just as old as far as its origins go and its motorized chassis nature. But of course, the Fujimi Skyline, the 73 Skyline that Fujimi did, there's a cat in the window up here. They all went outside, now they went back in. Tough, they have to wait. But Fujimi's kit's a little bit better, both in terms of the fact you do get an engine with it, a better chassis, and things like that. There's no inner fender wells with that kit, much like their Fairlady kits that came out that have engines, but overall, I think it's a better kit. And it's also comparably priced when you get an engine over not having an engine. If building a firewall and your fender wells is that important to you, I think it's a heck of a lot easier to start out with a kit that's designed to have an engine than it is to have one that you have to do all the scratch building from scratch. Literally, you'd have to change the chassis out and everything. And so we move to the tuned car, again, for September. They're going to be reissuing their Nissan Silvia S15 version in the Vertex Ridge tuner car, and their 2005 Toyota Alphard van. That's a full-size, or it's probably Alphard van. That's a full-size van in Japan. It's a great big thing. We don't get it here in the United States, but it is bigger than the Toyota minivan that we do get here. And that is going to be in the Silk Blaze VIP van, guise, if you will. And so those two will be in the tuned car. Now, going back to August, coming out next month from Aoshima, they're going to be reissuing the Walter Wolf Lamborghini Countach. That, of course, a very famous one-off car built by the oil tycoon. And they're going to be reissuing several of the Liberty Walk kits, and several of these have actually been reissued here recently, so obviously they're selling well. And they are the Liberty Walk four-door Skyline. That is the blue and gray car, the number one, the first kit. The Liberty Walk Ken and Mary two-door, that, of course, being a 73 Skyline. That is the one that has sort of a race version to it. It's not the race Hakasuka version, but it is. It's a black car in the box with sort of a number 73. It's all cartoonish. It's not an actual car. Then they'll be reissuing the Liberty Walk Hakasuka two-door. That, of course, the original GTR, and that is the fourth car in the series, the one that is a dark blue in the box. And then they're going to be reissuing the Ken and Mary Skyline two-door 2014 version, and that, of course, again, the 73 that is like powder blue on the box. That is a really cool car in real life. I wish they had done more to make the actual interior of the kit match like they did the exterior, but of course, you know, that was just, it is for the outside looks, not for the inside looks. And, of course, all those Liberty Walk kits, because they are based on the Skyline series kits, are Best Car Vintage, and all have, motorized chassis origins, so know that going in. They're going to be reissuing the initial D AE86 Toyota Truno from Volume 1. That, of course, the original Toyota Truno, the one that has no extra parts but builds the original initial D car. And then they're going to be issuing two of Ryosuke Takahashi's RX-7s. They are the original F3 or FC3S RX-7 that does come with an engine, and the Battle version, the one that they just reissued with modified tooling to represent the Battle version at the very end of last year. Obviously, that kit has sold out, so they have to do another run of it. And that, of course, again, same kit as the other one, so it comes with an engine, too. Both those kits, however, are only JDM. They only build right-hand drive. Over at Fujimi for August, they're going to be reissuing their Toyota Prius, which I remember when that kit came out in 2012. That caused a great deal of consternation amongst the people that we would dub Luddites, you know, people who don't like change and there's never been a good car built after 1971 and blah, blah, blah. It's fine to be nostalgic. It's fine to be all those things, but when you pretend like the year you graduated high school or college or got married was the last year of anything ever happening, you sort of fall into a category of people that I find very frustrating, because I like a lot of things from now and back then, and I don't really particularly find the 1990s when I was in high school to be so thrilling that I have to live there. Maybe it's because the 1990s wasn't that great. Who knows? But at any rate, they're going to be reissuing that Prius in a police version. We've had much fun here with friends discussing what exactly you would use a police Prius for. New York City Police Department has several in the Traffic Enforcement Bureau that do basically meter enforcement, because that's what traffic enforcement is as far as the NYPD is concerned. Highway Patrol would be the guys that chase you on the freeways. So there's that, and it would actually make a pretty decent kit of that if it wasn't a JDM Prius. Unfortunately, there's no left-hand drive with that kit. They're going to be reissuing their Nissan Cedric and Nissan Gloria 430 Turbo. That's a early, mid-1980s era Cedric and Gloria. It's a really, really basic kit in the sense that it has sort of one of those universal motorized chassis. The box art is a caricature of a Cedric and a Gloria. These were two separate kits that they're going to be merging into one box, as has been their the way they're doing things here recently. They're going to be reissuing their Toyota Cresta 2.5 GT Twin Turbo. Now, that is a curbside. It's much like the other newer Crestas that they've done, or the newer Crestas and the newer, what am I thinking of here? It's up here on the shelf, but it's probably behind something, isn't it? There was another, I see my other Cresta up here, but I can't think what the heck the other thing is. Why can I not see it? They really reissued two things, and one's behind a plaque, and I can't. I think it's a Chaser, or maybe it's a Mark II. Anyway, I'm going to stop staring off into space. But anyway, it's like those later '90s versions where they were basically unassembled promos that had metal axles in the front and the back. Very basic curbside kits. However, this one is a little older than that. It's early '90s. It is sort of the sister kit to the the Mark II twin turbo that they're going to be reissuing in July. Both these kits have not been around since probably the mid-1990s. Maybe they got a run in the 2000s, but I can't find any boxings from then. So it's a long ago kit. If you're a fan of Milk Toast Toyota sedans, you're excited about that. They're going to also be reissuing their Mazda RX-7 Savannah. This is like a first-gen RX-7. I'm not sure what the origins of this kit is particularly. It is flared. It was last reissued in sort of a 24 Hours of Daytona scheme. Now, Yoshima has a Best Car Vintage kit from Aimei. They also doing the same thing. Now, this is not the same tooling, so it's not the old Aimei kit. I'm not sure if Mitsuya had done this before or if this is something that Fujimi actually did, but it is very basic. It is motorized. It is everything. And then they're also going to reissue the Mazda 323 Familia, which is the old Mitsuya tooling, so that makes it really basic and motorized and all of that stuff. So a couple of different options there. Some kits that have not been reissued for a while. They're not the greatest things in the world, but again, they haven't been out for a while. And that, I guess, brings us up to new decal news. Now, found out this week that SK Decals, you know those guys, we enjoy them, are going to be doing a number of sets of decals for the upcoming July reissue of the EK6 Honda Civic race car. Of course, this is a Hasegawa kit. They're going to be reissuing it in the Jax livery. These are the first 3 of what I believe are going to be 7 sets of decals for, actually 6 sets of decals for this kit in particular. The top 2, the Idemitsu Motion Mugen car, and the top one there are going to be on the same sheet of decals, basically because the top car, it was run at the Ghia race of Macau. Some guy, I believe he was Thai, if I remember the story right, or he might have been from Singapore. I need to double check the thing he sent me about this car. Basically, the car in the middle there was run in the Japanese Group A racing, and the guy found an old used car of that number 100, bought it, shipped it over to Macau somehow, or wherever he was from, and then shipped it to Macau, I guess, and then ran it in the Ghia race of Macau. So that's why it looks pretty much the same. It just has a different number and slightly different sponsorship. So it was a cool backstory to that car. And you'll, like I said, they're going to put both sets of decals on one sheet because obviously the majority of the decals and the generalized paint scheme transfer over. And then that bottom one was a kit that Hasegawa reissued, and he is saying that he will consider or is going to basically recreate all of the decals from the Hasegawa kits, depending on what other kits they decide to reissue. The thing that will be interesting to see will be, as you notice, the bottom car there is on a set of sort of mini light Watanabe-style wheels. And right now, as far as we know, the only wheels that are coming with this Jax Civic that's being reissued are the 5 spokes that the top 2 cars have. So it'd be interesting to see if Hasegawa ends up reissuing another car that has the other racing wheels, because there were a series of like 6 or 7 of these kits that were done over the course of a while. They actually did do a Jax livery car. I didn't think they did, but I finally found a picture of an old box version of that. There's Take One. There's a Castrol car. There's a couple of different things that are slipping my mind right now, but like I said, there were like 4 or 5 different versions of this car. They actually did the Motion Mugen car as well. So it'll be interesting to see if they reissue a second kit that have those other wheels, or if the other wheels will be included with this kit. Don't know yet. Haven't seen the insides of the box. But it does make several of the decal sheets that they will be thinking of doing near to impossible to build correctly, because you won't have the right set of wheels. So hopefully they're going to reissue another kit with the correct set of wheels, or both wheels will be in it. Well, as I said, we'll keep you up to date on that stuff. You know me, I love my decal. So I'm looking forward to getting that, because originally SK was originally thinking of just doing the top car, that 99 car that ran the Ghia race of Macau, and Shunko, who also did a set of decals for the Motion car, the number 100 car, will be reissuing their set of decals. And we had talked about, what was going to be done, because I was trying to figure out how many I should buy to have base kits, and it originally was just going to be just the one car, and then so that's why. If anybody remembers when they announced them, I pre-ordered 3 of them. One to do as the Motion car, one to do as that 99 car, and then one to do as the box art car. So I need some more, and we'll be interesting to see what the wheel situation is there. Now, on to actual kit releases. We have one domestic kit release for the month of June. This leaves a couple of kits still out there as far as round 2 goes. Round 2 still has not really reissued the Mod Rod or the Tyrone Malone Super Boss as of yet, but Polar Lights, which is part of round 2, has reissued their Snap-Tight Volkswagen Beetle kit in the Harley Quinn theme. This is going to end up being the exact same Snap-Tight Beetle that they've done in several DC comics and I don't know if it's what DC Comics technically or not. I think it's Marvel Comics, right? But at any rate, they've done a bunch of different comic versions. I'm not sure if they were mixed the two or if it's only been Marvel now. Oh, well. At any rate, if you want one, there it is. This will have all of the parts that all the other ones did, so it has the other wheels and it has bumpers and the whole 9 yards. But this one, like I said, marketed as being Miss Quinn's Volkswagen Beetle. I'm not sure. I think it's molded in red. So I'm not sure how you get the black on there. It'd be kind of interesting to see if those aren't, like I said, unless it's pre-painted black and red. I thought it was just supposed to be molded in red, though, because that's an awful complicated paint scheme to try to have a kid reproduce. And then everything else that has come out here is the remainder of the June reissues from overseas. From Aoshima, they would be the Lamborghini Aventador LP704 Roadster kit. Good kit. I just think the Roadster version of the Aventador looks cool in the first place. Nothing new about it, just a reissue. Reissue of the Saibu Kitsatsu Nissan Safari Nissan Patrol 4-wheel drive and tank car, a very unique piece of fire apparatus from that TV show, and that concludes the reissue of all of the kits from that series that they were doing last month. And then this, which is part of the tuned car set, is the reissue of the 2012 Toyota Crown Athlete with the Road Jam VIP. It's not really a tuner package; it's a VIP package. I like this. I've talked about this when this kit originally came out last year, and now it's being boxed, like I said, into this tuned car. To be in the catalog permanently, if you will. I like this VIP style. It's very, very basic. Just a couple of very, very subtle ground effects. Some larger wheels, which I actually like. I'm not a real big fan of VIP wheels in general, or the whole just, stuffing giant wheels under a slam car look in the first place. I'm much more of a factory stock kind of guy. However, I do like this. It's very subtle. And then we have a very interesting situation out of Fujimi. Now, Fujimi reissued, and I don't have it up here. I guess I must have forgot to actually download a picture of it. Whoops. That figures, doesn't it? Please hold. Thank you for holding. This is the Toyota Crown 2000 Turbo S110. S110 is the generation / chassis number that was the what this is. This is like a very early 80s Toyota Crown. This kit has been reissued for the month of June. Now, for some reason, Fujimi's actual website says it isn't going to be reissued until July 12th. However, I have bought and paid for one at HobbyLink Japan, so somehow I have one. I'm not sure if the listing for July 12th is supposed to be the next car that's coming out, which is a Mark II that's sort of similar to this, although it's about 10 years newer. But at any rate, this kit has been reissued by Fujimi for the month of June and represents the end of their June reissues as far as what they had announced. But when we were going through, just checking up on people's various websites to get new kit announcements and seeing, release schedules for the month of July, because, of course, if you watch our, channel for a long time, you know that every month we do a monthly compilation video that has all the kit reissues and releases we expect for any given month. Like, there should be a July one coming any day now. It'll probably end up coming out well after the 4th of July because, much like last year, nothing ever changes. Revell did not put out their July releases before the holiday weekend, so it'll end up being the 5th or maybe later before they end up, putting them out. I remember August of last year, the place went on vacation, and they didn't bother to put up the August releases until almost September. So I know what the July releases are supposed to be, but I'm not going to announce them until I have some sort of firm confirmation of what they're going to be, because Revell is in a whole new quarter now. They're in the third quarter. They got all of their first quarter kits out on time, all of their second quarter kits out on time, but being in a new quarter, hey, we can just juggle things around as much as we need to because we're 90 days to get all these kits back out again that are on the third quarter release schedule. So until they announce, there will be no July compilation video for people who are sitting around this weekend going, no, there should be a new video coming out. Yeah, there will be, just not right now. But when going around through there, we noticed that there were 2 kits on the Fujimi page. Now, if you're in Japan, you can buy stuff directly from Fujimi. This is not a thing you can do here in the United States because A, the entire website's in Japanese, and B, they don't seem to acknowledge anyone who either A, a subset 1 writes them in English, or B, 2 lives in the United States, because Fujimi is very, very Japan-focused, and that's fine. I have no issues with that. I can get their kits from Japan without any problem, but there were 2 kits that were on their sort of, corporate website ordering platform that were not listed in the reissues at all. And then I could order them if I lived in Japan or had some way to get them from Japan from a personal, from a individual. And I was puzzled by this because they were not on HobbyLink Japan's release list, nor have they been re-added to HobbyLink Japan. They were not on Hobby Search's release list, nor have they been relisted there. They're not in Hobby Easy. They're not anywhere other than on eBay now. You can buy them through Tokyo Hobby, which I will throw a conditional recommendation behind. I have ordered things from them before. They're not a scam artist or anything else like that. It just tends to take a little bit more time to get things from them than it does from anybody else. I haven't bought from a lot of Japanese vendors on eBay, to be perfectly honest. I tend to stick to Hong Kong because they send out everything, via a trackable method, and I'm willing to pay $1 or $2 extra for a model kit that's, out of production or hard to find or whatever, like a HobbyLink Japan doesn't carry it and I can't get it there anywhere else. To have that tracking on there, although since the 1st of July, Hong Kong Post is no longer trackable by the U.S. Postal Service for whatever reason, so that sort of went out the window. Most Japanese retailers that are on eBay will ship your stuff out via Service Airlift, which is untrackable, not insured, and tends to take 2-3 weeks to get there. Tokyo Hobby also had a very, very bad habit a long time ago, and it seems to have been rectified, at least within the last couple of interactions I've had with them, of not shipping things for a while. They would, I think, sell things they didn't have and then have to wait for stock to come in. However, these 2 kits that I'm talking about here, I have just ordered and they have just shipped. So hopefully they will be here in a reasonable 2 weeks amount of time. What they are destroying some kit value. If you talk to anybody who knows their Honda kits, now neither one of these kits are fantastic in the sense of being super well detailed or full detail. The interior panels are kind of iffy on them. However, they're cheap in the sense that the stock versions of these tend to run, like $12, $13. 2 of the most desirable Honda kits that exist from Fujimi are the ones that have the Spoon Racing tie-in. Right now, there is, I believe, a Civic R, because there's an Integra R and a Civic R, on eBay for $200 plus $40 shipping from Singapore or Thailand, one of those Southeast Asian countries. Not to be dismissive of Southeast Asia, I just don't remember which one. It was one of the 2. I believe it's Thailand. And then if you go and you look in, sold kits, there is a Spoon Integra Type R that recently sold for $160. Well, if you want to go to Tokyo Hobbies, these kits are running $15.70 a piece, plus then it's $11.80 to ship 1, $17.70 to ship 2, because every additional item at Tokyo Hobbies is an extra $7.50. You can, and these are very limited special release. They don't seem to be going to vendors. They seem to only be available in certain places, and Tokyo Hobby seems to be the only place I can find them right now. So I can't recommend anywhere else. I can't send you to HobbyLink Japan. I can't send you to 1999 because they don't have them. They've reissued the Spoon Sports Honda kits. So here's the Type R, the EK9 Type R, and the DC2 Integra Type R. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Your kit value for collectible kits has been obliterated. yeah, there's absolutely no reason in the world why you now need to pay somebody in excess of 3-digit figures to get a kit. These, like I said, sold for $15.70 a piece. Go. Run. They had 10 left of each when I ordered mine a couple, 3 days ago. They may all be gone by now. Who knows? It depends on how many people are actually searching for them. They sold at least 13 of the Civics. I don't check to see how many. I think I only sold like 3 of the Integras. But yeah, I don't know how you get a hold of them any other way. I don't know if they're gonna run them into larger production in later months, because like I said, we just did August reissues from Fujimi, and they ain't in there either. This also remains to be seen if this is going to become a thing where they're going to do special limited Japan-only releases of kits that will not be available to the general population at large unless you know how to get around sort of the back door, if you will. I'm thrilled to have them because I think they're kind of cool cars. I mean, yeah, they're yellow and they're the same kits as before. They just have a carbon fiber hood decal, and otherwise they're the same basic $10 kit as the other ones. However, just for the desirability of it, you can go grab them. Well, 10 of you could go grab them anyway, and you'll have something that everyone thinks is worth $200, and you only paid $15. Oh. Like I said, we'll keep an eye out, see if this is going to become a thing, or if this was just some sort of weird June anomaly, or what the deal was, because, like I said, you can go to Hobby Link Japan and put Spoon into the search engine and then go into discontinued kits, and you're going to find these have been reissued like 2 or 3 times in the last 10 years, maybe, but they've all been very, very short runs, and they're not around, and they're ridiculously priced on eBay. I've now seeing a whole bunch of those EK6 Civics, the ones we just talked about, the decals, the very beginning of this show. They're all popping up for $80, $90, $100 a piece because people know that in like 2-3 weeks, the kit's going to be reissued, and the kit value of those racing Civics is gone, because with the combination of aftermarket decals being done for them, and who knows how many of the actual liveries Hasegawa will do. They ended up doing, 3 of the BMWs out of the 4 that they did. Even it's an original kit. Yeah, who wants an original kit when I give a brand new one with decals that aren't going to suck if I try to build the thing? That's the one thing that I always hesitate about buying vintage racing kits, where I know I cannot get aftermarket replacements. If I'm buying a Tamiya kit that I don't know that I can get Shunko replacements for, I tend to be very, very leery of it because, not just Tamiya, but any decals from an old kit, you can coat them, you can put them in the sun or whatever to get them to be not yellow, although if you put dry decals in the sun, that's going to be a very bad day for you as well. But beyond the whole thing is, like, if it's a race car kit, especially a race car kit, because let's face it, the decals are the whole point of a race car kit, I get very leery by buying vintage kits that I cannot get replacement decals for. I don't want a vintage EK6 Racing Civic. I will take the reissue with the reissued decals, and I'll be perfectly happy. And if I have to buy decals from SK or whoever to get the other liveries, I'll be just as ecstatic there. Yes, I'll pay twice as much in theory because I'll have to buy the base kit and the decals, but that's a lot cheaper than a $90 model kit that I get decals that are junk when I get there. So, at any rate, guys, that'll wrap up this episode. We hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a safe holiday. Please return with all of your digits, no drinking and driving, and all of that nonsense. Have a safe holiday weekend, and we'll see you guys on the other side.